Question.
Yes.
What was the hardest part to cast in The Vampire Next Door?
Besides Cameron, which I think was a close second, it was really tough finding a really good Cameron. The character Lenny. I need you to close tonight.
Nope, can't.
Why?
I have a date.
No, seriously, I need you to close.
You're right. So Lenny is a guy that I worked with when I think I was 18 or 19. He was a real mean dick boss. But there was just something about him that was sort of sad. He was never gonna be manager. He would just always find a way to screw that up. So anyway, so that's who the character was written as. And we had so many people do tapes for it. I don't know, you weren't that involved at that point of as the tapes were coming in, and then had an actor come over to the house and he read it. I think you read with him.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't, he didn't have the bite. He couldn't be mean enough. He was just too nice of a guy. So after he left, I was sitting there, and this was, like just days before we started shooting.
Yeah.
I'm describing to you what I'm looking for. I forget what you said to me. I think you just did, I can't remember, because I was like, that's the guy.
And then I said, well, then I should just play Lenny. And you said, but you don't want to get back into acting. And I said, I think I do. And I'm really glad I did, because playing Lenny was a lot of fun. Look, I don't know what you said to her, but she doesn't want to see you.
Is she working?
No. And it sort of reinvigorated my enjoyment of acting, and I ended up casting myself in Alien Weekend as well. So
you were really good in that too. Again, that's another part that I can't picture anyone else playing now.
well, he seemed nice.
Full of horse shit is what he is.
Oh, Sheriff, do you think he was fibbing? He's the naive small-town kid who became a sheriff. And everything he always says, I always described it to actors as, if someone robbed a Burger King, his question to the witness would be what they ordered. He doesn't quite hit the mark every time. And all the actors' tapes that came in would either be, they would be playing him as a bumbling idiot or sort of a too hard of a sheriff. And nobody quite grasped who Finnegan was. And so that was another situation where, in that situation, I just cast myself.
Your supervisor should have called.
The authorities had been made aware, ma'am.
She likes to go by sheriff. And as far as explosions go, how big of an explosion are we talking? Say like a scale of John Woo to Michael Bay.
Not just because I'm your dad, but as I was watching both of these performances, I was just really impressed with you. And I remember asking you after one of the takes. Do you remember what I asked you?
Hey, you asked me how I'm able to what was it again?
I asked, when you're doing it, what are you thinking?
That's right.
Because you often, you threw a lot of improv in, and you come up with stuff, and I'm like, is this stuff you were thinking about, days ahead of time, or is that stuff that just comes out? And so when I asked you, what are you thinking when you're actually doing a take, your answer to me was, I'm not. Yeah. You're just being there in the moment.
That was the other surprising thing to me as well, is since Private Sales, which was the first thing I ever acted in, I remember learning lines was a lot tougher for me then. I don't necessarily have to think about that part as much. So unless it's a really technical line, it's easier to just exist in the moment. And for me, I think just being able to just commit made it a lot more fun.
There was so many times you added just little nuggets in. There's a scene where you only stick your head out the door and you ask your two people working for you, do you still work here? And then you added on just this great little nugget at the end. And it's not scripted, right? That wasn't.
No. You two still work here? Let's go.
Yeah, it literally made the scene. It was good.
Even when we're behind the camera, so much of it is just capturing happy accidents.
Yeah.
There's only so much that you can plan for. Where I think a lot of the time, a majority of the things that make it into the take are sometimes mistakes. There's a great scene in Alien Weekend, where these two characters are sort of flirting, trying to figure out whether or not they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And one of the main actors stumbled over his line, but it was perfect because, one, he didn't do that in any other take, but it made him seem much more nervous. And that's the take that I used in the movie.
Are we dating?
What?
Is that what you're gonna ask me?
No.
Oh, well, now I feel kind of stupid.
Happy accident.
Happy accidents.